Hi, everyone. Hello, how are you? Welcome to Monday. Yes, this has been a very special Monday, and you're all going to know why in a moment. Hey, Diana. Hey, William. Good to see you here. Oh, my phone just told me I'm live. Wow, how helpful. Monique Renee here, a photographer at Silver Paw Studio. And every Monday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, we go live here from the green room and we talk about a variety of topics. It's so great to have you all here with me. And we gather so much more ideas, brainstorms, inspiration, all being together. Yes. And a tiny bit of backstory, you probably know if you've been to Live from the Green Room before, is that I had planned to do a live show probably 6 months ago, December-ish. And the idea was I would chit chat with you as I edited photos that I just taken on Monday mornings at the shelter. Hey, Frank, you're having your second cup of coffee? I should have, but I'm getting water. I'm trying to be good. So here's the thing, everyone. I saw Frank today, IRL, at the cat rescue. Yeah. Yeah. I was able to get back to the cat rescue. Isn't that awesome? And they're actually closed to adopters and everyone coming in on Mondays. So we had the room to ourselves. They'd already cleaned everything. And it was so great. Right, Frank? Was it so great? Now the title for today, the title of the live stream today is, let me take away that, is exploring product photography, because we're going to talk about the video that I produced and posted on Friday talking about merch photos that I photographed shirts and tote bags for Animal Friends Alliance as something I could do to help them while volunteers weren't allowed to come in and we couldn't really photograph the actual adoptable animals. So that's what we had talked about saying today. Talking about the thumbnail says that anyway. So I do want to talk about merch photography. Before we do that, though, I do want to let you know, if you're on the email list for pet photographers, whether pro or aspiring, kind of on your way, you can be on here. You'll know that the email, which I sent out Saturday morning, I know we all talked about sending it Friday, so forgive me for that. So it talked about what is going to come up this Friday, and I am moving that video for this coming Friday out to next week. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me get back to the comments. Oh my gosh, yes, it was good to be photographing the kitties again. So in my newsletter, I had talked about, okay, we're going to talk about merch photography today, which we are in just a moment. I'm just doing some housekeeping. And then this Friday's video is all using that My Talking Pet app again. And I made some super adorable personalized videos for the Habik dogs. And I'm going to tell you more about that. And that was planned for this Friday. But I still need to get some more information for that before I film the last piece. So that's going to get pushed out to next Friday. This Friday's video, Frank was happy enough to let me film him today. So we both photographed kitties today back at the shelter, but he has a new light modifying setup. And it's all on a stand and it goes inside the kennel. And so we have tons of footage of that showing you how to do that. So I thought that would be super timely and maybe a little bit inspirational to everyone, that you soon hopefully will be able to get back to the shelters and photograph. And when you do, here's an idea for different type of lighting. And so Frank was nice enough to do the setup for that. Yeah. Yeah. So he and I met this morning and it was tears. I was seriously, I was close to tears. Yeah. Um, so it was really nice. I mean, we did air hugs and we wore masks. We did all the things we were supposed to. So yeah. Your shelters are still closed, right? And so there's one of the groups I'm in on Facebook She saw the video on the merch photography and she said, "Oh, this is so great. How else can we support the shelters while we're not going back?" So you probably all know, you probably all know this is only the second time I've been at the shelters this entire year, because between going to imaging at the very, very beginning of the year and then having major surgery and moving and the pandemic, there's been no way for me to go back. So that's what I've been doing, is really trying to think of other ways to help some of these causes. One of the awesome things here is that the animals still are getting adopted pretty quickly. So even though Frank and I photographed a couple kittens today, and we're showing you some of the lighting, I don't know, those kittens might be adopted like today. But we photographed some adult cats too that needed some extra love, and so they got their beauty images. So what else can you be doing? And one of those is that video I'm going to post in a week and a half, 2 weeks, about the My Talking Pet app and how you can use that for some of the causes that you support without ever having to go there. And so there's that. The merch photography, let's talk a little bit about that too, because I think you can go even farther with that. So I did the shirts and tote bags that they want to sell on Etsy, but anything else that they sell would be awesome. Like today I wore my socks that I got, I don't know, a couple years ago now. They were doing a socks fundraiser. They have calendars. Maybe they have leashes, and some shelters even have a bigger retail space, and maybe they've gone to online sales. And so you can still get some of that as a supporter. Like for you, William, if that's something you would normally go photograph them, what else can you do for them? So the place that we go to, really their big merch selection is those shirts and tote bags, although they do have a small section of other things like leashes and whatnot. And so I'm totally happy to photograph any of those kind of product photography. And William, if you saw it, the last video, it was a porch drop. So they just, whenever they could, they came out, dropped it all on my porch, and I photographed it. And then I happened to go out there. They had a day where 3 or 4 or 6 of us could weed outside. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go weed. And so I just dropped everything off at that office. So that's another way that you can help out with the merch photos and help them. Another way that we're kind of talking about right now, which Animal Friends Alliance and I have been kind of deciding how we can do this, is some of their enrichment. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like, so puzzle toys that you can make yourself. And we're just trying to decide if we want to do some stills and some probably more like video of the animals using these and us building them for the general public, or do we want to do it for like an onboarding, like a training of the actual volunteers and staff at the shelter. So it'd be an internal video. And so when the new volunteers come on board, they know to try out all these different things for enrichment for the different animals there. And so that's another idea too. You could put together a photo story or a video, some way for them to show their fosters and volunteers everything that needs to happen behind the scenes. So even though they're not doing volunteers, maybe they have some animal care staff that's new, and so it's been difficult to train them. And so those are just some of the things that we're brainstorming. What do y'all think about merch photography? What did you think of that video? I am considering, I probably will at some point. That was all in the studio. And so I'm thinking I'll do one that is like a natural light outside. So do something like that. Maybe choose a different type of merch that shelter might sell. Or since several of us on here are photographers or aspiring full-time photographers, what other merch could you photograph, right? So maybe you get a brand deal with, let's shoot for the moon here. How about Kong? So we get a brand deal with Kong and they pay us to take photos, right? So these would be ways that we could, sorry, we've got so many mosquitoes, that maybe practice photographing a stuffed Kong, and that could help bring in some of that and those skills. Patty, hello, welcome, you're good. You downloading and updating On1 photo software. Ooh, I'd forgotten about On1. I had it many moons ago. I don't know what else. Oh, Chuck It. Yes. So any of that kind of merch, a lot of places have all kinds of like the bow ties and things that we all love, the bow ties and the scarves. Perhaps you can talk to them and say, hey, listen, when I'm allowed back at the shelters, I am going to use your bow ties and your scarves on those shelter animals. Could you send me some ahead of time? And I'll go ahead and do some product photos for you too and practice that skill. And you can get some merch for your shelter. Ah, that'd be cool too. And like you could try it on your own dog and take some test images. Right, Patty? Excuse me, I need some water. I need some water. What other would you okay, question. Would you like to see more product merch type photography? Would in natural light or outside be better? We're talking about lighting. Or would you like to see more that are styled, like that we put products and things around, kind of like a Pinteresty type, or the flat, I never know if it's flat lays, which is straight down from up above, which you saw some of those t-shirts. Would you like to see more of that? Me exploring how to do that? Because each project's different. Yeah. Okay. Patty says yes. So type in the comments if that's something that you want to see, or if you're like, no, I really, really, really need to learn this. Could you please make that pretty soon? Yeah. Okay. Product photography. Patty raises a paw for that. I know there's so much more to teach and that people want to learn. And that's the whole reason I started being on YouTube, is because I was looking everywhere to try to get some of this tidbits of information along the way, specific to pet photographers and shelter photographers. And I wasn't finding it. And so I think I've just like barely skimmed the surface of what I can teach and what people want to learn here about pet photography and the business of pet photography and other things around that. So I am totally open for ideas, but I have a billion myself too. I just want to make something that you're interested in that helps you where you're at. So instead of me just going off on a tangent, making what I think would be helpful, I love hearing from you all what you want to learn. Okay. Oh, water. Now, that being said, we are coming into summer, and we just got news the other day that Steve's kiddos are going to fly in from California, and they're going to, we're going to isolate here, but they have been isolated for a while. And so they're going to come here. And so I'm going to see what I can do to like spend some time with them and maybe not do as much with some of my business things. That being said, I have already pre-filmed almost 3 other videos. And so more product photography in the studio. Okay. And Patty says product photography design. Okay. So a couple other videos I have coming out. I brainstormed, I don't know, 30, maybe 30 different revenue streams that you can use for your pet photography. And so that I had so much to say that I actually broke that into 2 videos. So this is what we're going to do. This coming Friday is going to be my photos with Frank today, back at the cat side of the shelter that we're at, and him showing you using his speedlight setup and the modifier setup that he's got going. The next week, we're going to talk about the My Talking Pet, which is awesome for people like William that can't go to the shelters, or Patty. Have them send you a picture and then use the My Talking Pet app, and you can make up some really cute things. It's like the Pluto Living dog. And I'm going to tell you how I came up with the stories in that video. And then I'm going to have 2 videos talking about all the plethora of ways that you can make money with photography and videography with your pet photography studio. So those are like the next 4 videos I have coming up. And yeah, Steve and I last night, I think we finally brainstormed 2 ways that we want to showcase how to attach a light stand to your wagon. And I know I've been promising this for a while, but part of it's logistics. Like I want to have the right pieces and parts and have it work right for you, and now I've come up with 2 options. So that is definitely in the works for this summer. I have not forgotten about that. I'm also revamping the tabletop studio. And so we're getting that together in our brains too, and putting together a parts list, and then we're going to build that. So I do have some things, but I really want to know what you all think. William says product photography too. All right. So 3 of you would like more product photography. Okay. Let's dream for a second then. Okay. Let's dream. If you could have like photograph any product, pick your favorite company or your favorite product from your cause or your rescue or wherever you help with, what would it be? What would be like your favorite product to photograph? Patty says, yes, I want to know about attaching a light stand to a wagon. I hope it will work for a fold-up wagon. Oh, I know. I was thinking about that too, Patty, because people have mentioned, oh, how about a fold-up wagon? And this I'm doing with my metal wagon with the wood sides, and it's so sturdy there, and I don't have a fold-up wagon. So I think one of the ways will work. I'm going to keep that in mind though. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up again because I do want to consider that as I build that out. For now, I'm making it that wood-sided one because it's sturdy. Those lights are so darn heavy. But you could totally use it with a little lighter speed light and even kind of what Frank's going to show on the video Friday. So do you have in mind the favorite product or merch that you'd want to photograph? Let's see. Let me dream with you a little bit. I love my Bob's shoes. They have all the little cats on them or dogs or both. And that's a fundraiser for a cause. So maybe the Bob's shoes would be fun. Mine are way too wore out now though to do that because that's all I wear. What else? Kong. I would love to have some kind of a brand deal with Kong. And if they were to call me tomorrow and say, hey, can you do some creative merch photos for us? What would I do? Right? Yeah. Your favorite. Okay. Patty says her favorite would be Chuck It, as her dog loves to catch those balls. So in your mind, and you could try this too, since you have a dog and a Chuck It and a camera, what do you think would showcase Chuck It the best? What would they say? Oh man, this would be great for Instagram or for our next ad campaign. Because we all know we could photograph the record shot, the product shot they need for the catalog. We know we can do the product shot with kind of nothing in the background, just really showing just the product, right? So you have the Chuck It and you have the ball. But how else can we showcase that? Very simply, what if you have a wooden deck and you've got your sandals and your Chuck It and your ball and the grass and your dog out of focus in the background? You're ready to go play Chuck It, but the Chuck It's large. So it's in the foreground, so it's bigger, and your dog is kind of out of focus in the background, ready to go. I think that would be creative. What else could you do? You could have it, where do you Chuck It? Where do people go for Chuck It? Their backyard, a fenced area. Where else can you go? The beach. I don't live near a beach, darn it. Where would be a fun place? Like what I'm picturing, Patty, is those Chuck It's are those long things with the cup in the end that you put the ball in, and then you can really throw it a super long ways. So what if that was stuck in the sand, and then the ball was next to it? Yeah, some kind of a little bit more creative in the location, and then of course you have your action images. What else can we think of? Right? So we're getting ready to use it, and then we are using it. Maybe once it's already used. Maybe that ball soaking wet from the ocean or the river where you threw it, right? Or maybe it has grass all over it. It rolled through the grass, and then your dog is sleeping next to it because it had so much fun, and now he's all tuckered out. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. So those are great ideas. Think of the whole story of it, the beginning, the middle, and end. The beginning is you bought it. Here it is. It's new. Here's just the product. And then you're getting ready to use it. I can picture it on your back deck. Your dog's anxious and ready to go. And then the next moment is your dog is playing with it. You're throwing it. Maybe you can even have your hand here, or a model. And then the dog's playing with it, and then the dog is tuckered out and tired, and here's the Chuck It covered in hair, or something. So think of the whole story of how someone would use that product. Local dog parks are open. Oh, that's right. Yeah, and I know that one that you and I had gone to for the last video we did together is fairly quiet. So find a really quiet dog park, and you might even be able to just have model's already there and say, hey, since you're here, I'm like practicing. Could you do this? Now, I wouldn't do that for a brand because they need all the releases, but to practice, you certainly could. William says, I like the image of a large chew toy with a small dog. Oh, humor. Yes, definitely inject humor, William. I love that. That's hysterical, actually. Oh my gosh. You can do that with so many things, like a tiny bow tie on a huge dog or a big bandana on a little dog. Oh gosh, there's so many fun things that we can think of. And what I'm trying to do for myself too is start with that brainstorm of what's a brand I really want to work with, because either I really love their product, I love what they stand for, I love they're indestructible. What is it that I love about that product that they give to the causes I love? Here's an off the wall one that I'm going to pursue is Subaru. Subaru has a whole thing for the love of dogs, and Subaru markets to people going places with their dogs. And I have an older Subaru and we have a Subaru dealership. So that's something that I'm kind of thinking to do until we get a Tesla anyway. But Tesla will never pay me to take pictures of a dog in a Tesla. So why not do that with a Subaru or any brand that you want to work with? Maybe there's a certain harness. There's just, obviously the pet industry is much bigger than people think it is. Like, people who aren't in the pet industry, they don't realize the millions of dollars we spend here in the US on our pets. And all of that. Like, I've heard of Super Zoo when it's going, it takes like 3 days to get through that. That's an industry conference. All of that's products that we could photograph, right? Once you really start thinking about it, you're like, ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Now I'm starting to get all excited. Oh, this is great. Okay. Keep talking. I have a screen share pulled up. Do you want to see? Let me pull over here. Do you want to see some of the kitty images? Raise your paw. We're gonna keep thinking about these products we want to work with. Let's see, how far are we into this live stream? 22 minutes. Okay. I know a lot of people have dropped off this if they're watching from the replay. If not, congrats. Thank you for joining us and sticking around, because now you're going to see some cute cats. Yes, kitty images. Okay, these are completely untouched. All I had time to do was eat lunch and throw them on my computer. So I really want to show you this. Okay. And I've not done a screen share yet. I don't think. Let's try it. Okay, so we're going to do a screen share. Look at all the kitties. Okay, this is my Lightroom. I'm going to look over here because it's on my other monitor. So I think I photographed maybe 3 and Frank photographed 2, if I remember right. I think there was another kitty that we tried to, and she wasn't having it. This white kitty down here. Oh, I'm moving away from my microphone. Sorry, everyone. But take a look. We had kitties today. And I love this one. Okay, I think this one's in focus. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, maybe not. Wait, loading. There it is. Okay. So what I would do with these is normally I'll go through and I'll star them. I'll press 1. Okay, I like that one. And I'll kind of go through. And then I go through and I go through develop, which is pressing R. And for some reason, for me, I make them all 8x10. I think that's the way the aspect ratio back in the day, all of the shelters used. All right, so let's go those back out to fit. And then, I'd fiddle around with all of this. And I think this needs to have a better white balance. Oh, there we go. There we go. And then, of course, we want to take out Frank's hand. Sorry, Frank. So spot removal. Lightroom, I have a love-hate relationship with their spot removal. I gotta tell you, I'm not convinced that their spot removal is worth a darn. I've tried clone, I've tried heal. I just see what I mean? Like, okay, well, anywho, I don't want to take this over to Photoshop right now while we're on a live stream, because I don't know what that would do. But you kind of get the idea. Take his hand out of there, and then I got to get some more cleanup up here. But look at that little meow, Okay, Frank says, I don't know, can I get a thing up here? Yeah, you photographed too. Oh, you did 4? Oh, snap. Did you do some more when I left? I don't remember the list. I have it on my phone. You hate Lightroom spot removal. That's why I have on one. Yeah. I totally feel you on that, Patty. Oh, snap. It is okay for small little things. Like if I really wanted to get kind of picky on, I'm just using my scrolly button here. If I wanted to get picky on this, but you have to be careful because it'll pull it from somewhere way over here that doesn't make sense. And then if it looks weird, you kind of have to come over here and go, wait, I wanted that heel. No, I wanted it clone. So anyway, it does not do a good job on complicated things or things like this. Look at the, I mean, look at that. That's no, that's just no. But kitten. I want to go back out to grid. And then we had this torty kitty. Look at her looking up here. Ooh, my white balance is way off. I don't know what the world I did there. So we are going to get this into my favorite 8x10 again. Actually, I do 8x10 for all my clients too, because it translates to 16x20, which I love. I usually start with auto and then go, oh, that sucked. No. And you just want to click on somewhere white or gray. So she looks a ton better already. So I would fiddle around with this a little bit more, but there we go. It's so great to be back. And what I'll do is I'll go through these and find my favorite. Oh, see, the focus was off on that guy's nose. Find my favorites. There we go. Like top 3 to send to them. Oh, this is fun. This is exactly what I pictured us doing. Although we have been able to talk about way more than I ever dreamed we could on these live streams, which is so fun. Let's start with white. Yeah, we'll do that. And it looks pretty good right there. I don't even have to mess with any of this stuff here. Oh, oh my goodness. Was that fun? Oh, so much fun. Yay. That is a super quick and dirty how I edit shelter photos. You can see I can do them really fast, so I prefer that. All right, everyone. I think we did some amazing brainstorming on merch photos, product photography, like we had intended to do on this Exploring Product Photography broadcast today. So wonderful to see everyone here. Keep brainstorming merch photography, product photography. There's probably a way that you can help. Even like Patty, I think you were here for this. Like, how can I take pictures for enrichment for the volunteers? There has to be something that we can do to help. And we're just trying to be creative about it. I know another thing, if you are someone who's up and running and you want to do this, if you want to give part of the proceeds of every session or particular sessions or days, kind of like how restaurants will give 10% on the 5th, that kind of thing. You could do that with your photography income too. And there's a bunch of ways that we can financially help as well if you're in a place like that. But to volunteer photography, these are some ways we can do it right now. Yeah, yes. And we had all the different personalities today. Some that said doesn't like restraint. Okay, we're just going to photograph you in the kennel. A kitten that was pretty shy, and so we didn't photograph that kitten, right, Frank? And some that were just kind of sleeping in a little bunk, which were perfect for Frank's light setup, which you'll see Friday. What else? Yeah, I don't know. It was just great to be back. And hopefully we're going to be back next week too. I won't be filming next week. It will just be photographing, kind of back to what we were, and just kind of keeping really close attention to all the protocols, trying to stay apart as much as we can, washing hands, wearing masks. Frank and I both wore a mask the whole time, especially because we were inside in a fairly small, warm room. Yeah, I need more water, but that's what we're doing right now. And it does help to stay in contact with your shelters. I'm sure, Patty, you've been doing that. William, if you work with your shelters, I've been emailing them all throughout this whole thing saying, hey, let me know how I can help. Here's some ideas I have. How can we make this work? What is your biggest hurdle right now? What do you need the most help with as far as maybe even fundraising or getting the word out of how their procedures are going. There's so much they need help with that we can help. We all know. Maybe we know one aspect of social media really well. Maybe we can help them learn photography. There's so much. I know. Oh my gosh. Frank, it took so much to not. Usually when Frank and I see each other every week, it's always like, Frank, I haven't seen you in a whole week. Big hugs. And it was so hard not to do that today. I almost just broke the rules anyway, but no, I'm going to stand firm. I'm going to do what we need to do. The day will come again. Oh my gosh, though, right? We're going to be ready. We will. Yeah. Okay, everyone, that's my half hour. I don't want to keep you any longer than I need to. I'm so glad you were in here. Again, let's see my banners here. If you want to sign up for the new photography email group, here's the link. You are welcome and invited to that. And that email goes out Fridays, so we can talk about that Friday's video, or I can just say what we're going to talk about here on the live stream. And what else? I don't know. I think that's it. Oh, if you want a photographer t-shirt, I do have a Teespring store now because so many people have asked for it. There you go. You can get a photographer shirt or hoodie or socks or totes, I think is all I have on there. Yeah. All right, everyone. Super, super good to see you all. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you soon. And as always, I wish you many whoops, purrs, and TREATSs. Bye. Bye.